What's up, guys? This is Cusack here, the lead guitarist, vocalist, and manager of my band, Devoted Fusion. And I'm here to show you my guitar setup for our newest album, Hill Valley 88. So for those of you that like progressive rock, progressive metal, hard rock, or any other kind of metal for that matter, I think this would be the right kind of setup for you, but of course everyone is entitled to their own setup and their own opinion. But let me just go over the details of what I got so far. So for the recording of Hill Valley 88, I used the Schecter Diamond series, as you can see right here. And this is a C1 Classic, so very nice guitar, mahogany body, so everything works really nice, and it's a very lightweight guitar. The frets and the strings on the frets work really nicely, very clean, and everything works out really well. We got some humbucker pickups over here on the bridge and lower side here, and these are terrific pickups here because when you hear the clean sound to it, it's extraordinary. You know, especially if you're looking for that clean tone that John Petrucci uses on his albums, this would be the perfect way to go with it, in my opinion. Even though he does use a lot of, you know, Ernie Ball's stuff and the Majesty guitar. You know, if you're not feeling like the expenses are going to work in your favor for Ernie Ball, this guitar I think is a really good substitute, in my opinion. I have a good feeling that you'll get the sound that you're looking for with this guitar. Okay, so now let's talk about the effects pedal that I have. I currently am using right in front of me the Firehawk FX pedalboard, and this is a multi-effect pedalboard. And the best part about this is that it's easy to switch between patches. So if I wanted to go to the chorus pedal on this, you know, I could just simply press a button and it goes right there. And same thing if I go back to heavy, or if I want to go to my acoustic tone. It's got a lot of terrific patches to it set up already, but I of course created my own using the Firehawk FX app, which is something that, you know, is not necessarily needed if you're purchasing the Firehawk FX. It is a free app that you can use to pretty much control all of the effects that are on the pedalboard. So I set up my own customized effects to this and use those effects to record on the latest album. I got my distortion tone called DF Heavy. This is mainly the kind of tone you want if you're looking for like heavy metal riffs, you know, like Metallica, you know, that kind of stuff. And what I used here is the Brit P75 normal amp. You have a whole list of amps once you start using this app, and you get whole bunch of different sounds, you know, wide variety of things you can choose from here. What I did with this was I kind of set it to where the mids are taking over most of the sound, and I created a nice volume to it. The drive, I would say to be careful with, because sometimes, you know, if you think, you know, the drive in this case would be the gain. So if you start using the drive to your advantage and you put the drive higher than everything else, what could happen is, you know, you wouldn't be playing anything, it would just create an echo. So I would strongly advise looking over that if you plan on working with this kind of tone. So I set the drive exactly at 65. I don't put a percent higher or lower than that. The bass is at a pretty good level, and so is the mids, and the treble is just going to be a little bit lower than everything else. And you don't want too much presence there. You just want to keep that a little low key as far as that goes. And then we go to the cab here. The cab fits pretty nicely with the amp. It's a 4x12 Brit V30. And nothing much else to talk about really, other than just making sure your early reflections are down. Okay, and I also set up a compressor. The threshold to this is -6 dB, and the gain is just 2 dBs up. Works really nicely, I think. Creates a good mix and gives it that little oomph that you're kind of looking for on that. And there's also a stomp pedal with this. You want to keep this as your like go-to when it comes to distortions. The classic distortion HD is the best fit for this. And when you set this up, the drive again should only be at a specific percentage. You know, that depends on how efficient you are with setting the rest of the presets up. The drive is at 62%. I don't really go higher or lower than that really. The bass is at a pretty low level because we already have the amp set up at a pretty high level for the bass. And we got a bit of treble, a little bit of filter, and not too much output with that. This is going to be, the classic Distortion HD is going to be an essential pedal to have set up with this patch. And the last thing on this heavy distortion is the reverb. The decay is at 28%, the pre-delay is at 11%, the tone at 52%, and the mix at 45%. Gives it a nice feeling. This is a spring reverb, so it gives it a little bit of a light tone, but it doesn't take away the heaviness that is still in your pedalboard. I think it has a really nice vibe to it, and that can really work out. Sometimes I add a delay to this pedalboard, but that's only if I really feel like it's needed. I maybe did a delay on maybe a couple of songs on Hill Valley 88, but I didn't go too crazy with the delay. And overall, this creates a very nice and heavy sound, as you will hear right now. Okay, now let's go to the light chorus that I have set up on my Firehawk FX here. This is going to be a really nice tone if you're looking for that light side of John Petrucci, or you know, if you're looking for something that has a glow to an acoustic tone. This would be the setup here. Okay, so on this I currently do not have an amp set up. The volume's at 57%. You know, you just want to get enough volume so that it carries through. And the cab, there is no cab to this. As far as modulations go, I have a stereo square chorus. You don't want too much speed on this because it's going to really flow nicely. Now, if you want to set up the speed yourself and, you know, pick it up, that's completely up to you. I personally like the speed low just so it has a really nice flow with the sound, and that you don't really hear all that sound coming through that modulator. The mix is halfway through. The depth is at 27%, the pre-delay 42%, and the feedback is 19%. And I added a second modulator to this patch here. It's a Line 6 flanger. Again, not too much speed, but you do want to have a good mix to it, so the mix and depth are going to go a little bit up on this, and it will create a really nice tone to it. And you also have the compressor threshold being at -21 dBs, and the gain is at 3 dBs. And your stereo delay here is really nice for keeping that sound that you have lasting for a good few more seconds. Offset's going to be really high, and your feedback is going to be really high as well, because that is going to create a longer lasting time on whatever tone you have. Okay? And this is what it's going to sound like when you have all this together. So I hope you guys enjoyed the setup that I have here. I tried to explain as much as I possibly could, although if you feel like I was missing something or if you have a question for me, feel free to leave a comment and I will most certainly answer it as soon as I possibly can. This, of course, is not something that every musician is going to go with, but of course it's something that I would recommend if you're looking for a progressive rock or progressive metal kind of sound. And again, go with your gut and see how everything works out with you. Thank you very much, and keep in mind that our newest album, Hill Valley 88, is available for download right now. Take care.